Yo quiero que a todos los pueblos salgan a tu That's a very nice one. Wow. One of these might one of a kind. I don't want to do it until she gets Hey, look. Hey, you. Everybody gonna come. No, I don't think so.
Wake up on the face of it.
Sorry,
Wake up and it would be like. Square box under the
God is too much.
Step 3, acceptance.
Probably one of my 50 cents. Yeah.
Shut up. Yeah, it was pretty cool night before that. We got on Megan last night. That's just pretty raw. Check this out.
We're on. We're on. Good morning.
Good morning.
How's everyone doing?
Bless.
Very good. And so now, want to pass these back? Please. Thank you. Pass these back. Thank you. Yes, come stand up. Somebody got something to say.
Hey, y'all listen.
Respect. Check it out. The new guy asked for an MRT book. We let him hold the MRT book. So he came over here and grabbed it, and he don't know where it's at. I know a lot of people here don't have one. I know a lot of people want that book.
There's one sitting out there with a composition book on top.
That was just a book by itself.
Look on that table.
That's a brand new book. So if y'all came by this table and took that MRT book from here, and y'all please put it back. But I know a lot of people want it, but a lot of people ain't gonna use it.
We gonna do that.
I ain't running no camera, bro. We talking to
Nah, it's not.
That's the first step, honestly, come on.
Come on, man, this.
But at the end of the
If
day,
you really
need
want
to
to
touch
book, all you gotta do is act, bro.
You don't need to be touching stuff that's not yours. Just because it's sitting there doesn't mean that you have to pick it up and put your hands on it. That's somebody's shit. Y'all need to be mindful for what y'all doing.
You know, please return the book. But not everybody has one in here. I know who all has it. This morning, Jason let him hold the book so he can start at step one because he's been asking for one. And he actually looks like he wants to do it. A lot of people ask for it and get it, and they don't use it.
Yes,
So now
sir.
Jason out of a book.
Yeah,
We
Jason let him
got, we
hold
got a
it.
lot of you guys in here that don't have books. So I would suggest, we have a lot of working clients in here that do have a book. So if a working client can get with the people that don't have a book while they're at work, the people that don't have a book can use it.
That's what he just
Yeah,
did.
What he just did.
Jason let the man hold the book while he went to
So,
work.
I mean, there's no reason to take people's stuff around here. They got to do it, they have to borrow it.
Somebody wants to play out with me out there. Hey, Victor, hey, when you finish, Jonathan gonna help you get situated. We'll get you situated with step one, show you what you got to do and get out of your business. Don't let that frustration. I've been going through some shit too, so
And it's not even that. I understand that I'm gonna get help. It's just the fact that I'm responsible for somebody.
I understand that. That's why I just said what I said. If it's not yours, it's sitting there, do not touch it. That's the whole issue of the point, but he's gonna understand that Jason is not like that. Whoever got the book needs to bring the book back. Cool. You're in that type of place where people do shit like that. So don't get discouraged. We here for each other, so we got to be, you know, just everything gonna be all right.
I know you're embarrassed, I know you're insane, it's okay, just turn it around when nobody's looking at the book.
Simple.
It's okay, nobody's gonna hurt you, just made a mistake, that's all. You can go to sleep.
But let's get some recovery.
That's called peer support. So whoever has the book, just please put the book back. We are short of these books, and I know it is your responsibility to get these books or get the work done in MRT, but doing things like that just pretty much puts people at setback. For him not doing his, and then now the other person not knowing where their book is. So, put the book back. Are you good? Excuse me? Extras? Oh, thank you. All right. So today, we're gonna talk about relapsing, tips to avoid relapsing. How many of you guys are leaving this coming week? No discharge this coming week? No one? How about court? Court? No one? Cody, I'm with you on Tuesday at 8 o'clock, okay? I'll be here. Nobody else? Okay. What you need? Oh. All right. So, even though I'm asking who, bless you, who's leaving, bless you, who's leaving this week, it's always good to go and wrap around the tips and the things that you should and can do to avoid, relapsing and going back to whatever past decision making you guys were making before. So we want everybody to look at it here with different tools, different mindset, as far as, well, when I go back there, and I'm encountered with this situation, what am I supposed to do? Having said that, we're going to do some role playing, and we're going to do some mocks today, just to put you back in that situation where you're up against, or you may be up against, when you actually go back out there, and see what is that what is your thinking defense? How is it that you're going to be able to master the no, I'm good, no, I'm not doing this. You're gonna literally walk out and not say yes to whatever is trying to romance you to go back to using or drinking. And just to say, I know sometimes we get upset and we get mad because things are happening and things are happening to us, but violence is not gonna get you nowhere. So, even though it's upsetting and it's annoying and you're like, we're adults, why is everyone doing this? Violence is just gonna get you in more trouble. And just to avoid more trouble in your lives, our lives, just eliminate being violent. Remember, if you have consequences in your forefront, you will always have consequences. The first thing you think about is, oh, if I do this, this is gonna happen to me. You will turn and you'll start making different decision making. And honestly, whatever happens in here, whether it's a book, whether it's your food, whether it's a pen, it's not even worth it. It really isn't. Okay. I'm done with the spiel. Let me go with the program. So tips for avoiding relapsing. Before we go any further, anyone here have an idea of what they can do to avoid relapsing?
Change of the environment.
Change of environment?
Somebody
Okay.
help your old friends.
Okay, old friends. Communication, yeah.
Stay away from people that are using,
Users,
in places where they hang out at.
okay. How about, how about stressful situations? How about times where we feel upset? How about the times that things don't go our way? What are we gonna do when that happens?
You have a support group, somebody that you can talk to, somebody else to guide you, so forth. That's why I feel that myself.
Okay,
Walk away, take a break.
walk away and take a break, yeah. That's actually a good one.
and stuff.
Okay.
If they're not breathing, like you just said, I was gonna say, walk away, take a break, you know what I'm saying? Is, you can talk it out, breathe, you know what I'm saying? And it's different level for different people.
Yes, it is. It
Yeah,
is.
I usually, from about water, I usually go walk by water, to come,
Okay.
and, play basketball, I can't do that.
Okay, so you're absolutely right. A lot of people will handle or mishandle different situations in their lives because of whatever it is that's going on. And a lot of times people just don't know how to manage a situation any other different than what they already know. That's what I was saying, like if it's violence that you used to do, let's try to see of other ways that we can handle a situation. It doesn't always have to be violent. And at the same time, going out there to your old friends, going out to your neighborhood, going out there to things that you used to before, it's kind of hard to relocate and go find a new place at times because of funds or jobs, but it doesn't matter. You can be in the worst neighborhood of the world, but if you are a grounded person and you tell yourself, I am not going to do this anymore, I'm just not going to do this, it is what it is. You just don't do it. Because let's be realistic, you can find it anywhere. You can go to any liquor and you can go to any gas station and there's liquor everywhere. It's up to you to say, I'm just not gonna do this. Okay. The first one says, the most important moment before relapsing isn't the final decision to use the drug. It's when you decide to expose yourself to triggers. For example, a trigger could be going to a party, walking through a liquor section at a store, as we just said, before encountering the triggers. You still have most of the control, not your craving. Your control. You can be in the middle of, what is it, BJ's, Bosco, they have all these different drinks. But if it's something that you don't want to do, you're just not going to do it. Like if you say, I'm going to diet and I'm not going to have sweets, Take me to a bakery store. I don't want anything. I'm not buying anything. So it's your determination and it's your self-discipline that's going to lead you to staying sober. Remember, there is no but in the word discipline. Nor is there a letter B, nor is there a letter U, nor is there a letter T. So discipline should have a but behind it or before it. It's your triggers. Like we said earlier, if it's that you get upset, is it that you are stressed out? Is it that someone is just confronting you, someone came at you wrong? You're feeling some, whatever everybody calls it here, some type of way. You just cannot let anything or anyone put you back in that state of mind where you feel like you need to medicate yourself. And I mean drug use, I mean alcohol use. It's just not worth it. Come on, let's think about the consequences. Some of us know that if we take one more drink, that's our life. A lot of people have shared that with me. So let's be more realistic and okay, where do we stand? What is the decision that I need to make maturely?
Like, you was talking about yesterday about the long-term effect. Like, if I smoke flock, like, I wanted to smoke flock yesterday, but I just, I start working out to make that feeling go away. But if I can go out and smoke flock, then long-term effect, I'm gonna go to jail. So that's why it's good not to let that stuff overcome me. I overcome it.
Yes.
That's what I had to share.
Mm-hmm. Mental capacity at its best with you. That's great, man. Okay, so do you have control? You always have control. Always. And this is what I say, like you should not allow things and people and other places bring you out of your control because then you're at ease. You should always be in control of yourself. Don't just, he said, someone earlier was sharing with me, they got on the bus and this guy was just rolling a blunt right next to him. Like, damn, willpower at its best because that person was any weaker, they would have fought for it. Okay. The next one says, if you're feeling the urge to use, try to wait it out. If you distract yourself for more than 30 minutes, it's likely your craving will lessen in intensity. It might not totally disappear, but it will become easier to resist. Is it really 30 minutes?
More or less. It could be more or less.
I think it's less. Because it's that short window of opportunity that you got to make that quite distinctive decision at that point.
I think if you just keep your mind occupied, it starts middle. I'm learning that too.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep your mind occupied on something else. Even a simple conversation with somebody can help.
Mm-hmm. True.
I think the craving lasts longer than the decision. The decision only takes a second, but the craving could be 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours. It could be all day sometimes.
Yes, it can.
It's the decision that only takes a second.
That's correct. The decision is what's going to put you back or make you go forward. The cravings will always be there. Someone says they can diminish the craving. You're absolutely right, you can. But then what's gonna happen is, what are you gonna do after the craving? Sir, how you doing? I need you to stand up. I need you to sit up and open your eyes and wake up. Decision is exactly what you have. You have about 2 seconds to decide. Yes, I should. No, I shouldn't. Cravings can go on. You're absolutely right. That's why sometimes people say, I've been clean for 10 years. All of a sudden, they relapse. They made a wrong decision. Okay. Feeling of urge. What is or how is the difference between urge and craving? What's the difference?
An urge lasts for a certain amount of minutes. Craving, that's kind of like you got to have it. You're gonna do what it takes. You got to go get it.
Mm-hmm.
Aim for it till you get it.
Yep. Urge is right now. Okay, it goes away. Craving is,
You got to have that.
you're just gonna, it's longer. So longer, it's just romancing. Your thoughts, you can taste it, you can feel it, you can actually picture it, you see yourself doing it, that's romancing. So, big thing to have a good grip on. Gotta have a good grip on your cravings. Okay. Focus on relapsing your past drug use with new positive activities. We talked about that. New positive activities. That's exactly what we're encouraging everyone here to understand and do. Is coping skills, new coping skills. So once you have this craving, you're sitting down and you're doing something and you're having a conversation with someone, and then all of a sudden you start going into, yeah, you know, the last time I had a drink, you know, the last time I had a hit. And you're like, okay, well, this conversation started out so good. Now, how are we talking about this? And everybody's drooling, and it's like, wow, man, I can feel it. I can taste it, right? So, what are some of the positive activities that we can do at that point, Mr. Say?
Just get away from the conversation.
Change the conversation. Let's talk about something else, right? Let's talk about the weather. Let's talk about other things that are probably more important. Okay. You're just distracting me. Distraction's another one. Okay. Focus on replacing your past drug use with new positive activities. If you used to go home after work and drink, you'll need to make a new plan to occupy yourself. Going home and staring at a wall will eventually lead you to staring at a wall with a drink in your hands. What do you think about that?
Yeah. Me personally, or after getting off of work, because I work hard like all the time, and then after working hard, it's synonymous with getting high, and they like go hand in hand. As soon as I'm off, it's like a routine without even thinking. I just go right into it. Whether I have the money for it or not, I'll make a way for it. I'll borrow or something like that. They just both go together. So I know I definitely have to have something set in place for after that, because working is what like works for me. So I'm always going to be part of my life. But them being tied together like that, there's gonna have to be something in between. I know I'm gonna have to have some type of new routine set in place, because as soon as I get through working hard, I'm gonna get high. And it's been like that for maybe 15 years now.
Okay. I see you're yellow, so I know you haven't faced that here.
I'm actually green. I just
You
they said that they would discontinue it, so I didn't even bother.
Okay. Guys here go to work, right? You're instructed to go to work, catch your transportation, get off, walk back here, day in and day out. Practice, right? Practice. Now the theory that we spilled to you for the first, 3 months until you face up, practicum is all theory. Let me tell you how you should. Let me advise you how you should. Maybe this is what you should. Let's talk about what we should. This is what you need to do. Theory. We put it into play. You put it into practicum. Once you go out there, you work. You go outside. Those doors open and you're allowed to go. And we trust that you're not going to come back and drop dirty. So it's practice. You leave here, you go to work, you get back in your car, you get back on the bus, you go back home. Don't make a pit stop. Don't make a detour. Don't deviate. This is practice. So when you go out there on your own, that is the same mentality that you should have. You go home, you go to work, you come back home. You don't make a pit stop. That's not to say be a homebody. That's not to say don't go to the mall. That's not to say any of that. What we're trying to say is go to work, make it into a habit of leaving your home, go to work, and go wherever it is you need to go. Don't make those pit stops. Because those are the pit stops that gets us in trouble. Gentleman said 15 years.
Yeah. You see, I'm a little more craftier than that. I excel under these type of conditions. I'll easily go to work and come back under a structured settlement. It's when I'm actually alone, when I live by myself, I'm alone most of the time, you know. In here, I'll do good, but out in the world, that's when it comes into effect, you know.
Okay. So you like the constructive and you like the controlled environment, where
Yeah,
you know that somebody out there is gonna check.
right, I still know those type of conditions.
Okay. So what's gonna happen when you leave, when you go home?
Well, I was trying to stay here, but you guys are gonna kick me out. But I'm gonna go to a silver house.
Sober house?
Yeah, to the one Blue Water, the court, I was there Sunday, right? And the court and the respect out and the prosecution and everybody, they're so strict. That the prosecutor agreed to lift the cases off of me. That's why I was able to come here. They lifted the warrant. So that place is really structured, so I'm gonna go back there.
Okay. Structure.
Yeah,
But how much and how long are you going to allow?
I figure I wanna do like a year there and then really invest in myself. Like relationships are my weakness too, you know, I'll focus on somebody else and really take care of myself. You know, I have no problem, you know, making money or anything, but just being responsible for myself. I wanna take the focus and put it on somebody else. I wanna put a year into myself for real, you know? Stay in a structured program, do everything that's instructed to be, and get a home group, a sponsor and so forth, and really focus on me and build from there. This MIT book, man, I can't say enough about this, man. This is the first progress I've ever had in my whole life, in over half a century of learned behaviors and so forth. You know, I'm able to sit here and deal with people. I'm not perfect by a long shot, but I don't have any outbursts anymore. I don't have anything wrong with this book. Is really, I pour over this book. It really works for me, you know. And I hate to see people missing that opportunity, but I'm so in love with myself and what's going on right now. This is really great. I mean, this took me a very long way in such a short period of time.
Wow. That does happen when you really take that MRT thing seriously. You will unfold yourself. It's like you bring yourself inside out.
Exactly.
And then you get to look at yourself.
It's hard for me to articulate, but you know, it speaks directly to me. Everything resonates with me, and I'm able to just read and work my energies in a positive way. I'm able to keep my emotions in check, and you know, I'm able to recognize where I'm going wrong, because everything is not all roses, but I can recognize these problems, and then I can say, okay, look, there it is, Byron, and then I can flip the script on it, you know, and then I have a peace, and that takes me so far, you know. I went out yesterday, and I remember the other times when I went out to little house and stuff, and how I did things and everything, and I had complete control. I had a conscious decision and a self-imposed standard that I was able to execute. And I was just so freaking proud of myself. And I was like, wow, you know, that's never been that way for me before. And just something as small as that, you know, I know it's going to translate over to bigger and better things, you know. I just stay the course, you know. So yeah, I'm feeling like Terry Friday.
Good, and that is the first step to you having your own control. So what I was trying to ask you as you cut me off was, how long before you're gonna need these type of programs to give you structure? Well, that's something that you should be able to give yourself.
I don't know, right now, everything is it's so new for me having this success like this. And I have a habit of projecting and going too far. I get too happy too fast. And I just, you know, I do know the history on that. It took me a year to save $8,000, and I blew it all in a month and a half. You know, so I'm kind of precarious in these areas. So I don't really know. I'm gonna wait and see. Well, I'll know when it's right though. I'll know when when I'm able to, you know, when I find out something bigger than not smoking cigarettes at Little House, when I can make some greater accomplishments and be more consistent at it, then I'll trust myself more, you know?
Okay. Sounds good. But it sounds like you have, taken the first step to having self-control. So after you have self-control, you said 4 sentences, and you said I 9 times. So you are starting to learn how to have self-control.
Yeah, I know it lies right here.
So it doesn't matter if you're in here, if you are padlocked, if you are, people put GPS on you, it's up to you. This is just a controlled environment. Think of it as your own home being a controlled environment, and you do what you gotta do to stay clean. So as I was asking, how much of this do you need for you to understand that ultimately it's your control, your decision?
I've always known that deep down, but you don't understand, and I've been so stupid, and I've done so many stupid things, you know?
Okay.
And, you know, I'm gonna give myself more credit, and I feed myself better positive self-talk and affirmations and stuff, but I have to be realistic, you know? I need to develop some sinew, some strength, you know, I need some more consistency. I'll know when I'm ready, you know?
Good, good.
I mean, right now, I just don't, like, I don't trust myself completely
Okay.
at all, you know?
So that your next step is, who's that? Who's your counselor?
Sean is my counselor.
Sean, your next step is, discipline. Discipline yourself. Learn discipline. For you, self-discipline. Master self-control, start looking into, self-discipline.
I practice it every day.
And then master that.
I'm on my way.
Good. Sounds good. I'm happy for you, because I remember when you first got here.
Yeah, I was a mess.
I was gonna say that, but I remember you got here. I saw you in quarantine.
Yeah.
I remember. All right, let's get back. Remind yourself that craving will pass. Most death, it will pass. Have you ever had that experience where you're sick, where you can't remember what it feels like not to be sick? Do you guys remember being sick in here? You remember being sick? Woo! Woo! Where's my woo guy? Oh, he's at work.
I was just telling somebody that the other day, that it feels good not to wake up sick every day.
Wow.
This past year, 14 months, be 14 months on Tuesday. I've been told. So yeah, it's a great feeling not to wake up sick in the morning. Yeah, I don't even want to feel that.
You remember?
Yeah.
You remember being sick? Yeah.
Yeah.
You remember those cold floors and those fetal positions? So you remember those things, and those are the things that are gonna keep you away from drugs and alcohol. You remember, that's how I always start off with, how's your breakfast? We didn't talk about breakfast today. How's your breakfast today? How's, you like the food? Well, I've seen your lunch, they're pretty good. But the breakfast used to be, not so great.
It was a treat, so
So think about things like that. Think about the times that you are in here and somebody and your stuff is missing. Think about the times that you're in here and I've heard people say I don't even have soap. So think about those harsh moments that you are dealing with in here, that when you go out there, you're going to really appreciate a bottle of Dove body wash with a sponge or a scrub, not just in your hand or a bar. What is the soap you guys have here? Irish Spring?
no, they have it's like a hotel soap.
Sure.
Jergens?
Whatever the hell.
That's a lotion. Jergens a lotion.
They make soap.
They make good to make soap.
I don't use it.
Oh, so what do you?
I got my own.
Oh, you have your, okay. What do you use? Okay.
Bathed with lotion, bro?
You should see the deodorant they give these guys.
What is the deodorant?
The roll-on shit.
Oh,
Oh my
roll-on?
God. It's jail almost gives you better shit.
Yeah, don't need to deal with it no more.
Oh, wow, oh,
Yeah, no.
they don't give that anymore, see, look at that, we missed out. So the other day, somebody went in my office and they left a black bag of chips. The bag was just sitting there, but they left it on my desk. So I took the bag and I literally turned it over. So I don't know who it was that came in and they said, "Why are you eating jail chips?" That's my old guy. I remember this guy. This is sitting back there. You're eating, what is it? Jail chips? Oh my God, no, somebody left this here. Okay. So remind yourself that it will pass. It will pass. If this too shall pass, this will pass. And focus on something else. Switch up your mind. Think about something else. Pick something else to do. Go for a walk. Have a conversation with someone that you know is going to bring you to a better positive note. Right, Miguel? Here you go. You use my pen. Okay. So the next one says you have to make sacrifice beyond giving up the drugs. So what is one of the sacrifices that you would have to give up at this point?
Lifestyle you had around drug drinking and
Okay.
I got one. I was gonna say, for me, and this was like, so I talked about my dad before too. He said when he stopped using around my age. He said that he had to cut off a lot of good friendships that were like, people like brothers to him. But he said, he had to do that because if not, he wasn't going to go anywhere. So that's something I need to do is like, I have some good friends, but they do things that, aren't the best. They do drugs. They don't really do crimes, but they do drugs, and if I keep surrounding myself with them, I'm going to stay at that, level and not be able to grow, and once they start growing, yeah, of course I can come around. I'm not going to just leave them in the dumps. I might check in here and there and say, how are you? You're doing well, stuff like that. But, I got to cut off those certain friendships that are just going to weigh me down. Once they can start growing, of course, then might be able to kind of come back a little slowly and like guard each other's lives, and stuff like that.
Yeah, you have to make those sacrifice changes to be able to break off those habits. But like we mentioned earlier, it's easier said than done, okay? A lot of us don't have those high-paying jobs. We can't just go find an apartment or a house in another side of the town. We're still gonna go back home to what we know, and stuff is there. You can be in the middle of a place where there's a lot of stuff, whether it's food, whether it's drugs, whether it's alcohol, whatever it is that is your addiction. But if you are mentally grounded and you tell yourself, I'm not gonna do this, I don't care what they put in front of me, I'm not doing this. You're not gonna do it. It's a facade. You just have to be mentally strong and say no. Yes, sir.
well, it's like, I tried the geographic cure. I moved from Indiana a year and a half ago.
Okay, Indiana?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
This is
trying
right
to
there.
start over, rebuild my life.
There's no drugs in Indiana.
Yeah. And when I came down here, well,
There's drugs here.
I found the first place I could find crack.
Wow.
And started my life all over again as deterioration.
Wow. So you can be in any place in the world that you will always find drugs. And alcohol, and alcoholic beverages. It's up to you to say, I'm not doing it. You go to someone's house, there's a party, there's gonna be alcohol. Alcohol or cigarettes or whatever. You just have to say no. Yes, sir.
Yeah, you can find it anywhere you go in the world, just like you can find meetings. Meetings are 5:30, 8:30, 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and like everybody knows that I've gone to meetings, I've gone to a lot of meetings, but a lot of the meeting places are right in the bad part of town, but if your mind's on recovery, if your mind's on meeting, if your mind's on
getting to the meeting and getting to the meeting with your friends, you know, just don't think about that. Or at least I did. You know, my focus was where I'm gonna find a parking spot and get to the meeting. And after, you know, it's like reconditioning. After a certain amount of time, you know, weeks, months, it just goes away. It literally goes away because I changed my life and I changed who I hang with and what I do. And in Key West, I'm lucky because it's only a 2x4 mile island. So, you know, my clubhouse is probably 8 blocks from me. And then there's also 150 meetings all around the city every week for NA.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's got great recovery, but Key West has also got the reputation of, you know, a lot of partying and drinking, and it does. You know, I live a half a block off of Duval Street, which is the main drive, but I grew up there. So to me, it's like, you know, I've been there, done that, you know, walked the blocks, you know, that's enough. It's enough.
Okay.
And, but if my mind is on recovery, if my mind's on going to meetings, and I got friends there that I've had forever. I've got sponsees that I've had out of there that have more time than me now. But, you know, it's really, it's so easy, but I do tend to complicate things sometimes, you know, and when I do that, those are like danger times for me. You know, just like, I come up with excuses, you know, I don't like this person, I don't like that person. Well, I'm not there for them, I'm there for me.
Yes.
You know, and it's, recovery is definitely possible, easy, but, you know, it's just, you gotta get into routine.
Just like anything else, change is not so welcoming at times if people don't know how to adapt to change. And before you change anything in your life, unless it's just something that, okay, let's go and get up and then go sit over there, that's out of your control. But if it's something that you're like, okay, well, I think I'm going to change my job. So I'm gonna start applying in this section of the town because I don't wanna be on this section anymore. That's you having the determination to change, you have control. But it's gonna be up to you to say, you know what, I'm going to do. Because if now you stay right there, unless it's not forced upon you, sometimes it's not welcome. But when you take the initiative to make a change, that's when it's grandiosely welcome and everything is perfect. To you, everything looks right. But sometimes when it's that force to change is the problem. But a lot of times the force to change comes because people like us see that there is a need for you to change. Because if you don't change, you're headed really the wrong way. Jail, another place like this, or death. Three zones. You know, and unfortunately, we try our very best to help everyone and try to reach everyone before it's too late. But there's sometimes people have already self-determined to say, well, this is what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do it. Not always, it's not always self-sabotage. Sometimes in their mind, they think they're okay, they're gonna do this and this is their plan. And we're just like, I don't think you're so ready, but then we can't force anybody. Like yesterday, I had somebody come and tell me, I'm leaving right now, I'm leaving in an hour. I'm like, leaving in an hour? I'm leaving in an hour. You sure? Walking, you sure? I'm leaving in an hour. Okay. I didn't think he was ready, but he left anyway. But, you know, I'm like, what is your plan? I'm gonna do ABC 1, 2, 3. Okay. You sure? Yes, I'm sure. Okay. So he had a plan what he was going to do, and it was nothing to do with going back and getting drunk. It was more, I'm leaving and this is what I gotta do. But I know that, you know, there's still that part of him where maybe he's not gonna be able to handle the level of stress he once did not handle before, could come back and then bring him back to wherever he was. So we really try to give everyone the tools and the concepts to, you know, maybe you should hang out a little bit more, you know, listen to some more, maybe hang out some more, give yourself some more time, structure time, so that you don't have that wiggle to, well, maybe I just have a drink now. I'm stressed out from work. Let me see, you know? Where do we leave off? Because we're really drifting off to other things. Let's see, sacrifice, bad, okay. Have a plan for when things get bad. Because at some point they will. We're just talking about that. At some point things will. Somebody in MRT told me, you're just so negative because you keep giving me bad, what did he say? Bad, no matter what you say, I'm still gonna do the right thing. That's good. I'm glad you said that. But I'm being realist. I'm telling you what I hear and I'm telling you what I see. A lot of people want to say, well, I'm going to be busy. I'm going to stay busy. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to 8 to 5, then I'm going to go to work, and then I'm going to go to school. That's nice. That's a great plan. So when are you going to sleep? When are you going to eat? When are you going to do your eating? When are you going to talk to your spouse? When are you going to talk to your spouse? You just finished telling me that you get high because when you get too tired, in order for you to relax, you pick up. So you're gonna giving me this 1,000-mile program, but you're not telling the opposite. Yep.
I think it's step 4. I think that's kind of shows like
I just want to see what that is. Oh, you also know.
You're looking hard. You're looking hard. No, but I was gonna say though, like it shows just how productive you can be just in here, you know, and it's kind of like writing it down on paper can be like, dang, am I using this certain point of this time wisely, you know, where I can exchange it for this, you know, and realizing like how much you can do without access to like technology and stuff, how productive you can really be, and it really shows you the time management. That's just here with the limit we have. You got in the street, you'll be able to be more productive and do certain things, but you gotta like realize what you need to do, you know, and having a schedule. And I've gotten over my head being like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. You gotta be right. Like when you're gonna sleep, it's like that's where you gotta have that time management. You know, you gotta use this time to come up with a solid foundation of schedule, because if not, you're gonna go out there with no plan and it's gonna go to shit, because you're gonna be like, I got it all, I need to do this, do that. It's all gonna become overwhelming if you're not like on a good, like, yeah, you're not organized. Exactly. Yeah.
So organization skills, time management, those are the good things, those are the qualities that we tell everybody to have, because if you are everywhere and there is no structure, more than likely you're going to be overwhelmed and go everywhere, be everywhere. All right. So people get fired, hearts get broken, and sometimes people leave us forever. Develop a plan to get through these major life challenges without the use of drugs before they happen. So life happens, breakups, divorces, you get fired, you quit, someone pisses you off, you punch somebody in the face, cops come, you go arrested, another charge under your belt, you get dismissed. Where you going? Yeah, you're supposed to give us an address, but if you are unsuccessfully discharged out of here, that's your problem. So plan ahead and say, well, what is it that I'm going to do? What is it that I need to do to successfully finish this program? If you have that mindset, if that is your goal in here, and that is what you want to do in here, no matter what, no matter who, no matter how they say it and they did it, it doesn't matter to you, because your focus is, I'm going to successfully graduate this place. So nothing else is going to deviate nor detour you from making any other wrong decision but the right decision. Plans, and you plan it, and you see it, you believe it, it's gonna happen. But if you're iffy about it, you're not too sure, you get upset over something small, things throw you off, now you have emotions over facts, well, there you go. Okay. The next one says, major life challenges. What are some of our major life challenges that can put you at a test? What are some things that can happen to us that would put us at a test? Yeah, Mike.
Death in the family.
Death
in the family.
Death.
You're going back to jail.
Back to jail.
Yeah, it'd be family too, but my dog, you know, that's one of my dogs.
Your dog.
Because my dog.
You the one, we were talking about somebody's pet and would have died, how they would feel so sad. It's you.
Probably.
That's
Yeah, that's one of the things I've said many times. If something happens, especially in here, I think that'd be like, that's one thing that I guarantee I'm more than likely to leave. It's just because my brother gave him to me before he passed, so he means a lot more to me than, and that's my best friend. I love dogs. So that's just all that coming together. That's my best friend. I guarantee when I get home, he's gonna tackle me. He's getting older, but just him to remember me, it's crazy.
Okay. Life challenges. So I'm gonna share two stories with you. The first one is Michael hit it. He said death. So we had a gentleman in here that he was okay. He wasn't good to be here, right? Honestly, none of us are. So he had a death in the family. He had an ankle monitor. Probation was like, nope, ain't going nowhere. Mark is like, nope, ain't going nowhere. So he tells me, my mom passed away, and I am like, I don't care. I really feel like just leaving. So of course, me, facts, no man, listen, look your foot, look consequences, look what you're facing, look what's going on. So he was like, I don't care. My mom died. I don't care anymore, right? Because you have family, consequences. Now you got people that are waiting for you to get home. So in his mind, I'm just gonna do this. I don't care. So we have to try to organize and see how is it that we're going to tell the story. So let's do one thing after another, and let's see what probation says. And so we gotta take procedural steps, is what I'm saying. Procedural steps and see in the process. We just can't react and fly. We gotta think strategically. What are we supposed to do? Let's contact probation. Let's contact your pretrial. Let's see what is it that they want you to do. Let's see if you meet the criteria to have a furlough for a few hours so you can go to the funeral. Let's see. This guy was like, no, I'm gonna leave. Like, okay, it's your choice, but this is what we need to do. Finally convinced him. We actually did it that morning. We had to go a Zoom court. This shit was big. Court, the attorney, probation, Ms. Dixon was there, myself. Why should this guy leave, right? Well, I'm saying, I believe that he should go because these are one of the factors in his treatment plan, depression. So she says, yeah, that's nice, state attorney. But his rap sheet says that he's been doing this for a long time. Whenever we'll give him a chance to go back because of some reason or another, he comes back and he drops dirty. So now it's like, my word, me not knowing that about him because he didn't tell me that. And now I have this prosecutor tell me, well, look, this is rap sheet. Are you sure you want to do this? So organization, right? This is where it comes in. Organization and trust that if I were to say, you can go, but you got to promise me that you're not going to fucking go and get drunk. It's a funeral you're going to. I know what they serve in funerals. And trust me, when you come back in those gates, who's going to be waiting for you to take a breathalyzer?
Marky.
Come here, let me see. Let me look at your eyes. Let me see your pupils. Let me see. You get so close, too close. So, organization is, we organized, he and I had a good organizational relationship where I knew where he stands. I knew what were his pitfalls, I knew what were his weaknesses. But I trusted him that if I was to say, yes, Your Honor, I give you my word, he will go and he will be back and he won't be dirty. So, sure enough, dude went, he actually came a half hour earlier, clean. Trust and organization go together. So the fact that he was actually honest with me and he was honest with the whole thing, except for him not telling me he had a rap sheet. But he's one of those people that was like, well, listen, that's my past. I don't want to think about that. But right now my mindset is on this. I'm focused here. I know what I did before, but that's not me anymore. That's fair and fact. But it was presented again where, look, he has a history of doing all this. How are you going to tell me that he's not going to do that this time? My word was, this is a relationship I have with him. I'm his clinician, and I will say that I will vouch that he's gonna go and he's gonna come back and he's not gonna drop dirt.
Do you happen to know how he is doing?
He's good. I just said that. He's doing
Is
good. Yeah, he's actually doing really good. I think he got, I heard that he got COVID, but he's fine though. He got over it. So.
No, you're talking about the wrong person.
That's what,
But he's doing good. So anyway, the point of the story is organization. Put all your things in place, put all your cues, dot all your I's, cross your T's, make sure you have that bond with your clinician. Because when real life challenges happen in here and you need to go and you need or you want, unless it's out of our control and unless probation have their own criteria why you cannot go, then we can't. But if it's like an immediate family, a dental family, is an immediate family, you are able to go. But if he and I wouldn't have had that organizational relationship and I wouldn't trust him, he would never talk to me, I wouldn't have vouched for him. Well, I see him once a month, I don't know. He displays this in group, he's always coloring, he doesn't even look up, he doesn't know what I'm talking about. But the fact that I knew who this guy was, the fact that we have organization and relationship and it was trust, because whenever I would ask him to do something, he would follow through, he would do it, he finishes MRT, never a problem. So, because we have no control over those things that happen in our lives, is why we should be organized, is what I'm saying. If something would ever happen, you got somebody in your corner to vouch for you. It's called paper trail. You guys know what paper trail is?
Yeah.
Document it. Who, what time, where. So anything will ever happen, you have it documented. You keep your own documentation in your possession. Somebody gonna hand it to someone? Nice. You can have a copy, but I'm gonna need the original back. Okay, that's that organizational one. What's the next one? Don't become complacent with your sobriety. How many of us already do that though, when we go out? Very complacent. I got this. You're not, you raise his hand. How is it you become so complacent, if you don't mind sharing with us?
Everything starts to come back, starting with things that I've lost is one thing, having a good job. I'll start going to meetings hardcore, and then sooner or later, I'll just think I don't need them as much, and I will stop calling my sponsor as much. And before you know it, I start getting into my head, thinking I'm stressed out, but I'm really not, and just making that excuse so I can just reach for that bottle or say that, okay, I deserve it because I've been working so hard and everything's good. So, I can have just one. That's been constant every single time. And like I said, I've never gotten more than 5 months sober in the last 12 years. And it's usually around month 3, 4 that I start, about 4 is when I start feeling,
Okay. And what are you learning now here that will change that?
I'd say a lot of the structure here has got me, to realize that I need to build some sort of schedule for myself and to balance out my day, and not just focus so much on these things. Humility has come saying, that I don't need to have that $1,500 a week job. I can be just as happy with a lesser paying job and work less hours. And I'll probably have more money saved doing like that than I would the other way.
Okay. So you become humble.
Yes.
You learn to be organized and schedule yourself.
Still a few little flaws there, but I'm working on it.
Oh, that's good, but I'm saying at least you're setting up your foundation at this point, which if you have a strong foundation, you'll see, before you know, you'll be way past your 5-month benchmark, if that's what's been happening in the past.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
I think as well as Byron said, I'm very adamant about the MRT book. I mean, it's just put the whole different perspective on my sobriety. I've been 12 step, and it hasn't worked. So I'm looking at this, I'm looking at smart recovery now, I'm looking at everything from the CBT side.
Okay. There is a good old saying, you're doing something. You have, the results. 12 step is the result. 12 step, these are results, but then, you know what, wait a minute, I want a different outcome. How is it that I'm gonna get a different outcome? You're gonna have to start doing something different. If MRT is gonna be your solution to this, then let that be your solution. So MRT will actually, people, you know, make people think, will fold you in and out.
Totally,
inside out.
it's totally, dissects you. I mean, pretty much dissect your whole life and what's happened. You know, brings everything to life.
Well, it starts off with the pyramid.
Yes.
20 years ago.
Yeah.
You had your hand up?
Oh, you said, how do you not get complacent?
Yeah.
This was like, we could have our plan and everything going routine, we would not want to get high, you know, everything's going good. And then as soon as we're not looking, someone's gonna come find you, you know, and I think that's like the devil, you know, he sees you got your you know, your guard down, and you know, he's gonna come attack you. You know, you could have a pure mind and a pure heart, and he's still gonna come for you no matter what. I look at it as spiritual thing.
Spiritually?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a devil.
So everybody will see it under a different light, you know, spiritually, practically, factual, scientifically. But the end result is sobriety. No matter how you see it, you can see it however you want to. It's your respectfully, is your decision. But what we want is just the same goal. We want the same outcome. The fact that everybody will stay sober and nobody's gonna lance back at whatever it is you were doing. And like Josh said, remember the times you were sick. That alone would have, oh my God, I don't wanna go through that again. Oh my God, I'm gonna go through this again. This is what I'm facing if I were to do it again. And then have you stopped to think that the last time you did whatever you did, you were at a certain age. Your body was at a certain rhythm. All this time has passed, now you're at a different age, if maybe not the same age, your body is definitely at a different rhythm. So how is your body going to react to the same amount of whatever you used or you drank the last time you did it? Food for thought. We come back at 10:30.
11? Okay.
10:30, 10:30. Where is my sign sheet?
That was